We're pretty proud of those guys. They're amazing. They want to farm. They want to be good stewards of the land.
A millennial is, right now, would be from the ages of 14 to 33.
For me, Greater Minnesota, a lot of the youth right now are moving down to the metro.
Only 15% nationwide of millennials are living in rural areas.
And I want more youth in Greater Minnesota, because youth is what's going to sustain.
We are seeing people coming back to raise families.
Younger families are really taking a hard look at what goes into their families' bodies.
And so I think the local food movement especially is very popular among our age group.
And people love going to the farmers markets. They love knowing where their food came from, how it was grown.
It's definitely something that you feel like you're doing sustainable farming, that you can take on in a rural area, that you are providing for your community that surrounds you, that will help the environment and help people at the same time.
And if those youth aren't there, what's going to happen to Greater Minnesota?
We're getting ready for winter. So I gotta get the leaves out of the way, because it'll be snow shovel next.
When I moved away at 16, and at that time it was sort of like, oh man, I'm done, I'm out of here. Like, I don't want to stay in this small town. See ya, kind of a thing. You know, as I got older, oh, it would be so nice to live there again, but what would I be going back for?
I love the immediacy of a rural community. And I have a really great rural community here, a Unitarian church in Underwood I'm very deeply involved with. But what was kind of sad is not only my own daughter, but all of my friends, our sons and daughters, you know, one by one, left the area. Instead of a multi-generational place, it was becoming a place of middle-aged and old people.
I guess I didn't see opportunity here anymore for me.
So there's kind of this drain of energy, of enthusiasm, of, you know, the future, right, from the rural landscape.
So this was our garden this past summer.
I grew up kind of running free, you know, in the woods and exploring and having this great experience, and it really shaped who I am. And when it came time to think about having kids, then it started to be more like, how could this really actually happen?
Just a minute.
Oh, yeah.
This is Forrest and Mocha. These are our loan, on loan, they're brush goats. So they're not.
I ended up hearing about this program. It just kind of started to percolate, and I decided all of a sudden I went with my gut, and it said, you should go do this. It feels right, and take a leap.
It was so exciting because all of a sudden all these really cool young people were coming back to our community, and they were full of enthusiasm, full of ideas, energy. They wanted to make things happen.
And so I did it. I ended up commuting for a year to the program from Minneapolis. It did not take me long to realize that I wanted to move back.
And they wanted to be a part of the community, part of the church, part of the potlucks. There were potlucks, movie events, all kinds of stuff going on.
The program instantly sort of sparked this fire in me.
And I was like, yes, this is so exciting.
So a few months after I finished the program, we moved up here. And then we also did start to raise some pastured poultry to sell and things like that. So just kind of small steps towards what it would be like to have a small farm business.
And so this was a
sort of building shed that was already here, and we just enclosed one end and added a little door and put some straw in, and it's a great little chicken coop. Hey, and there's another egg. That's great. We've been waiting for some of these chickens to start laying, so second one today. That's a good sign.
Well, I worked on a large vegetable farm in Fergus Falls, blueberry garden, so I was able to work and take the program at the same time. After I took the program, my wife took the program.
Andy had worked with some different farmers and had kind of recognized a need for small-scale, particularly poultry producers. They don't really have access to any butchering facilities.
And she wrote a business plan for a mobile processing unit to do on-farm processing with clients. And we started this last year, and with no advertising, we were more full than we wanted to be, because the need for this is there. There's so many people raising chickens. We processed, this year already, we've processed over 3,000 chickens with farmers on their farm, and focused on understanding the full gamut of what home-raised poultry is. So looking at the health of the birds through the observations, really the biggest thing. So looking at the health of the birds through the internal organs, looking at the livers and the gizzards and seeing the health and the vitality in birds that are on pasture or that have had the good life. And then seeing the opposite of that, seeing, with our observation, we can see that birds that lay in their own feces don't thrive. They don't clean up well. And being on their farm, they see that. And so it's an amazing thing. This is second year, and all those people that we worked with last year not only had us back, but are showing us that their systems have changed because of what we talked about, which was, fresh air and sunshine, bugs. These are things that the chickens thrive on. And we've used that, that model that she did in her business plan, and it's worked fabulously.
I'm originally from Fargo, and I moved to Fergus Falls area for the program, the Sustainable Food Production Program, and came back here. I met such a great community in the area, and I got a job at Falls Baking Company, working with local products and wonderful people, local artists and growers and all sorts of local business.
I heard about the program from Andy Hayner, who was a student the first year of the program, and I met him at a Wild Food Summit. I grew up in the city, and in my family the girls did the housework and the boys did the repairs and the outside work. And except I had to mow the lawn sometimes. But I learned so many useful and practical skills in the program that I can work on as I work on my car, or work on thinking about, like, can I use honey that I got from a local beekeeper instead of cane sugar? And it's such a terribly important thing for people to know how to support themselves and to grow their own food and their own nourishing food, which is crazy that even needs to be specified.
I was studying the development of developing nations, and so I really wanted to help with sustainable development. Somehow I ended up doing an internship in Guatemala, and I realized that there's so much that of that know-how of the land that we have lost here, and it was just serendipitous to find this program in a place that I had not lived in years. I was really skeptical about coming back here after living in the cities and being at university, but I came back to find just an amazing community here, and this program is just, it was as I said, serendipitous, but it's just such a beautiful program for such a small town, Because, number one, of course, we're doing practical farm skills, and the people who are teaching it and the partners of the program are all real, actual farmers who are doing it to one degree or another more sustainably small-scale agriculture that I'm more interested in. But this program has really given me a lot of tools to try and work into niche marketing, value-added processes, etc. So right now I'm just doing some small-scale market gardening in my free time. I've got a couple of other jobs, but I'm working towards having a little bit of land to try and put into production.
I moved to Fergus Falls from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and my intention was to move back out to Oregon. I really love it out there, and I'm from the West. I first heard about the farmers market last summer in August. I saw a flyer at the library, and I had never seen one before, and I biked out here to check it out, and there was one vendor. I learned marketing skills in our farm marketing and management class, and this spring I attended a community food partnerships meeting at Pioneer Care and was immediately elected onto the board of directors, and I've sort of taken the lead on market media. We came up with a new flyer, we plastered the town with it, created a Facebook page. We hosted meetings that were open to the public at the library in the meeting room.
Today, thanks to Jason Bergstrom.
We had 17 vendors signed up, and at the present time we have 36. And it's just been a wild success, and I think the community loves it, the vendors love it. So the kind of PR and community organization is what I took the most from this. It's not what I anticipated, and but ever since I graduated and got involved in these local foods projects and meeting wonderful people in this community and seeing the impact that things that I have done have had, it's been amazing, and that's truly my passion, and I never knew. I didn't graduate and then start working for a farm. I graduated and started volunteering and rallying and organizing the farmers market because my passion is local foods integration. It just hit me that I'm not leaving here. I want to stay here, and I think that rural towns need more young people like me to come in and creating what I've seen in other cities that I've lived in. That's what seems to be trending, and a lot of folks really are starting to care about that. They want to know where their food comes from. They want to keep the dollars circulating in the community in Fergus Falls.
Well, for me, one of the main things was the environment, and for a lot of years that meant I blamed farmers, and I really thought that they were a big part of the problem. And then as I actually started working on environmental restoration, I realized that a lot of farmers actually were conservationists. They have a lot at stake in caring for the land.
I printed off some copies that were...
Along with the Sustainable Food Production Diploma, I have a master's degree in agroecology, and both of those degrees have enabled me to now work with the University of Minnesota to help support and develop more sustainable and healthy food systems.
I've been pleased with what she's had to say.
To have both the perspective of, you know, a grower, someone who raises food, and someone who's worked on systems and, you know, from a more academic perspective, I think that has served me very well in my job. Being able to raise so much of our own food, that wouldn't have happened without the program. Being able to raise our child in an environment where he can, you know, look out his window and see a turkey gobbling and pigs, and I mean, it's just, there's so many values beyond getting a job and getting that paycheck that I think that we should be talking about. We feel like we're filling a really important need in the local food system. by enabling people to butcher their own chickens and not even having to take them off the farm. And so that's something that is, I mean, it's way beyond a job. It's, you know, giving people the ability to have food sovereignty. But even if we were to focus on the economic aspect, there's no way Andy and I could have started our business without the program. You know, we're now at a point where we can hire other people to help us. That wouldn't have happened without the program. Some of the things happening in Fergus Falls right now, first of all, there's a food hub forming right in Fergus Falls that wants to buy food from local producers, fruits and vegetables, and serve it to schools in 9 counties. There's a hospital in Fergus Falls that wants to buy food from local producers and serve it to their patients. There's a nursing home in Fergus Falls that wants to buy food from local producers, and all of those entities, guess what problem they're having? They can't find enough local growers.
Some flowers in there? You're good.
I came to see that farmers actually could be a solution for the land, and now I kind of feel like farmers are, in a way, the last hope that we have as environmentalists. You know, people who will take on conservation because it has such a personal impact on their daily life.
I grew up around Fergus, and I grew up out in Elizabeth, which was a small little rural town. I worked on a farm milking cows and hay bale and stuff like that, and there were small family farms too, and I did trapping and stuff.
The ramps, I'm going to go and place them someplace closer to the house and an environment that they like.
I'm really big into like bringing back the whole family farm. Instead of having like one farmer farm 1,000 acres, why not have 10 families farm 100 acres each? You know, it makes a lot more sense, creates a lot more jobs and stuff like that. It creates a lot of sustainability for that area and for that region. Because of this program, you know, I'm working an ag job now and stuff like that, and I've built grain bins, and you know, so it's all conventional. You know, that all the job sites that I work on and everything I do is like with big conventional farmers. But I'll just mention, you know, that I'm a graduate of this program and this is what I do, and you know, and I tell them about our farming styles and what we do and stuff, and they're like, oh, that's how like Grandpa used to do it. And it's like, yeah, I remember that as being a little kid, and it's like people still do that, you know, and they're really kind of like, you know, they're surprised that people are doing that and wanting to do it, you know, farm that way. But most of the kids, so everyone moves away, and now you have nothing out in the rural communities for a job force. I mean, except for 55 and older. You know, the average age of our farmers getting up there in the 60s. I mean, now, so it's like, and who's going to take that torch? You know, who's gonna grow our food for us? Because it's not just, you know, agriculture. You know, just. And that's it, you know, it's like, you know, that's where our food comes from and stuff, you know, and we all need to eat. Someone needs to grow the food, and if there's younger people out there that want to grow the food, I think, you know, we should be allowed to learn about that and know how to do that.
I wouldn't have moved here if I hadn't taken the program, because the program brought me to Fergus Falls. I moved to Fergus Falls to take the program, and it just so happened that a lot of the people from the program lived around here, so it kind of worked out that that's what brought me here, and that's what's making me stay here, is the family that I made in the Sustainable Food Production Program. 100% the reason why I'm here, completely life-changing, definitely.
We started the greenhouse in end of July, beginning of August. And just because of, you know, farming and life and everything else is where we are right now with it. Oh, it's incredible when you get to see it with the housing and then with the greenhouse and the root cellar. It's really just a complete complex, pretty much, which is awesome.
Okay, here we go. So right now we're in the deep winter greenhouse out at Lida Farm, Ryan and Mari Pesch's place. And Ryan was one of my professors in the program. And they run a diversified organic vegetable farm is their primary focus, but they also have chickens and pigs and dairy cows and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm the apprentice out here, and it's winter now, but next spring it'll be my second season out here with them.
Such an awesome farm to be at. This is the packing shed, so there's normally another tub right here that we wash all the vegetables in and stuff, and then we have the boxes all set up here, and
thing. That's the thing I like about this farm and why I'm coming back next season is because I really get to do a little bit of everything, including, you know, milking the cow at, you know, 6:45 in the morning and packing CSA boxes and weeding, which is a never-ending task, you know, but planting and harvesting, and then also with animal integration. Yeah, 1 season is not enough to learn it all. 2 seasons isn't enough to learn it all, but I'll be too impatient and want to do my own thing, I think, by the end of year 2. I already want to, but I've got a lot to learn from them and love being out here. Always growing up, I always figured I'd live on a farm and have horses and chickens and that kind of thing. My favorite tour we did was at Pat's house, and Pat was a student the first year, and it was so cool to know that he was raising turkeys and raising small grains and doing all kinds of stuff, you know, not even a full year out from graduating the program, which was incredible to see that you could just do it, you know. So I'm thinking growing 4 farmers markets to begin with, at least 1 market to start, and then doing probably some broiler chickens, just a little bit of meat, start just feeding me and my family and friends, and then very slowly expand. Eventually I'd like to have a small flock of sheep, because I'm really interested in fiber and expanding my knowledge about that, and also I enjoy the taste of sheep, which seems kind of bad to say as a shepherd. Sheep, I can't wait to eat them. But yeah, vegetables, sheep, and just a little plot of land somewhere. When I went to college, I lived in St. Cloud, so I lived kind of in a larger city, and city life definitely isn't for me, so I'm definitely going to be somewhere rural, hopefully around here, and if not here, kind of in the area where I grew up. Yeah, I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Me and my wife first moved back, we were looking at trying to do more stuff here on the farm, because we always were interested in more organic and natural-based ways of doing things, so it kind of gave me an outlet when we moved back to study some of that stuff.
When we lived in California, the local foods movement was booming, so it's something that we talked about a lot. We wanted to kind of explore some of these ideas on our own farm.
We do hogs and chickens. We raise chickens, meat birds in the summertime, and we have laying hens. Another former graduate of the program started a farmer's market in Battle Lake 3 years ago.
Kind of move on, or kind of progress
we
on.
grow vegetables for a market garden.
No, it's kind of become...
And then we grow mushrooms, shiitake and oyster mushrooms.
I feel like I was in the program because they're such a close-knit group, and these are the people that we hang out with, and we see them all the time, and so it was really influential too in the growing our business. You know, we've been expanding every year and helped with the farmers market in Battle Lake, and you know, helped develop income streams for other producers. So I think there is definitely like a ripple effect that goes out. Graduates from the program are kind of finding places, you know, within that infrastructure to kind of help build that economy. So with all the other small farmers that we've met, and younger farmers, new farmers, it's kind of a lot of the same thing. Like, people are just really trying to figure out how to make things work.
Sustainable farming and local food, that's one thing that rural areas I feel like can really give to young people that are looking, and it's something that we can actually make happen.
Agriculture is tied into a lot of other social issues. I see it as kind of like a key because it builds local communities, it creates job opportunities, it creates really good food for people, it creates opportunities for people to come together and share a meal, and that's what it's all about, is about people, really is what it comes down to.